and Princess Charlotte were seen sharing a sweet moment during the Queen's committal service at St. George's Chapel in Windsor this afternoon. The Duke of Sussex and his niece Princess Charlotte exchanged an emotional glance during Queen Elizabeth II's committal service in Windsor. King Charles and members of the royal family gathered to say their final farewells to the Queen at her private burial service. The ceremony was held privately in the King George VI Memorial Chapel of St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle, in Westminster Abbey, which ended with the Queen's coffin has been taken to Windsor for a private family burial following her state funeral. While he spoke, Princess Charlotte, 7, was seen adjusting her hat before looking over at her uncle, who briefly looked up and caught her eye and smiled at the young princess. Before, the Duchess of Sussex was spotted giving young royal Princess Charlotte a comforting grin as the royal family left Westminster Abbey following the Queen's funeral. Following the memorial service, the late monarch's coffin was marched to Wellington Arch by members of the royal family including King Charles III, Prince William, Prince Harry, Prince Andrew, Prince Edward and Princess Anne. As Queen Elizabeth was moved from the gun carriage to a hearse vehicle, Charlotte burst into tears alongside her mother, Princess Kate. Noticing the distress the young royal must be in following the death of her great-grandmother, the Duchess of Sussex gave Princess Charlotte a sweet grin when she gazed over her shoulder after leaving the building. Royal fans have been left devastated after Princess Charlotte was seen crying at her beloved great-grandmother's state funeral. Clearly overcome with emotion, Charlotte could be seen with her head in her hands. It's been a big day for Charlotte, with the funeral of the monarch seeing the Princess of Wales' daughter sing God Save the King for the first time, alongside her brother Prince George. Princess Charlotte was one of the youngest members of the royal family to attend the late Queen Elizabeth II's state funeral alongside her older brother, Prince George. The funeral also marked the first time Princess Charlotte wore a formal hat. The hat was a wide-brimmed style and had a smart bow at the back. She embellished her black dress with a subtle diamond brooch in the shape of a horse show, thought to be a gentle nod to Her Majesty who adored horses. The royal also joined her mother, the Princess of Wales, and her aunt, Meghan Markle, alongside Queen Consort Camilla, in performing a curtsy. On today, Queen Elizabeth returned home to Windsor to be reunited for eternity with her husband, father, mother and sister in the crypt at St. George's Chapel at the end of a short service, which followed her funeral at Westminster Abbey earlier today. The burial saw the Queen reunited with Prince Philip as she was interred alongside her strength and stay in the chapel. The official website of the royal family said a private burial took place this evening, conducted by the Dean of Windsor. The Queen was buried together with the Duke of Edinburgh at the King George VI Memorial Chapel, the statement said. The coffin was seen by the public for the last time after the committal service at St. George's Chapel earlier on Monday. Crowds lined the long walk to watch the procession as Her Majesty arrived at Windsor Castle ahead of the service. Her Majesty's coffin was brought by state hearse to Windsor after a state funeral at Westminster Abbey as millions in London, the UK and around the world say a final farewell to the late monarch.